Hi again. If lawmakers are successful, it will soon be legal to carry concealed weapons in West Virginia without a permit. Colin, what do you think about that? And is there any chance that Maryland's gun control laws with our new governor could be loosened?
So on the second topic, I'm not going to hold my breath out. And I'm somewhat conflicted on this topic because I think that we often associate gun violence with gun laws. And I don't think that's a very fair statement because, first of all, I'll tell you, having grown up in the city, everybody carries a concealed weapon without no permit. Second of all, the state in this country, there are two states that have the absolute loosest gun laws, Arizona and Vermont. You never hear about the high murder rate in Vermont.
It's the
and as a matter of fact, you know, Bernie Sanders was attacked by Hillary Clinton over his lack of opposition to or his lack of support for gun laws. And I think we are so focused on, now, do I necessarily believe that somebody should be walking into McDonald's with a concealed weapon? No, because I don't think it contributes to the safety of anything. By the same token, and I spend a lot of time in West Virginia, out in nature, and the National Park Service changed their laws to where they have to respect local laws. Having woken up in the middle of the night with a bear right outside of my tent, I will tell you that I have a handgun on my hip anytime I'm out in the woods in West Virginia. I haven't shot anybody. I haven't come close to shooting anybody. I haven't been in any situation that would lead to me shooting somebody. So I think there's so much politicization that occurs around this issue that I think is kind of misplaced.
Yeah, well, you know, an interesting story. Yesterday, a friend of mine actually ran into an incident off of Wessel Boulevard, one of the shopping centers there, where a guy came up, and there was a homeless guy with a sign. Got up and started beating the S out of the guy right in front of all these people. Half the people went by, didn't stop.
The homeless guy was beating up a guy?
No. Was being beaten by a guy.
Being beaten by a guy?
Got out of his pickup truck, was beating him. And so my friend, eventually called the police, but a lot of people ignored it. And he was saying to himself, if I was really even more unsure with like a easy to carry, without permits, concealed weapons, I'd be worried about what that guy who just got out of the truck might do to me, helping that guy. There's the sense of fear. They call West Virginia wild and wonderful. Well, this might put a new spin on wild.
I have to say something. I don't agree with your carrying concealed in McDonald's. I think that's fine. I don't, I have to admit, I don't agree carrying an AR-15 over your back at McDonald's is a little bit too far. But carrying concealed at McDonald's, if you're just stopping in to grab something to eat and you happen to have one, I don't see a problem with that.
Right.
But
I do.
Well, Tom, you would, but
yes, I would.
I don't see that.
That's okay, buddy, and you have your beliefs, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But and your buddy out on Vasel Boulevard. Remember how to say that, Vasel. Okay, not Wessel. Vasel. You got it, buddy. You got it.
You did say Vasel, didn't you?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
But that's okay.
It is
But anyway, out on Vasel Boulevard, your guy, granted, I would probably be apprehensive too, all right, if we were in West Virginia. I wouldn't be apprehensive in Maryland. And, if this guy that got out of the truck had a concealed carry permit, apparently he was off his rocker to begin with. So, so the guy who and if he would have had a permit in Maryland, which we can't get, but if he had a permit in Maryland, he probably wouldn't have had a permit because apparently this guy has some problems, all right? And I think that would have been picked up in the background.
Well, maybe, the interesting thing was I was looking at, they did a study on concealed carry, around the country. And it's hard to get statistics on this, actually. But they did it for investigating, like, articles, newspapers, and everything. They found 722 deaths with people who had concealed carry permits. And in every single case, not one of them was self-defense. Not one. The whole thing. And a lot of them were suicides. There were 139 of them were considered as mass shootings, multiple shootings. 17 were police officers killed. 16 were people themselves got shot because they were using their gun. And then there's some, like murder, suicide kind of a thing. So, it's an interesting thing about what's the point.
So it really wasn't law-abiding citizens just carrying weapons.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. If first of all, I don't have any problem with people carrying weapons, all right? I have a problem with a society where they have to, and I think that's my concern right now. Is I would love to be in a place where we don't have to, and I think that's a whole different conversation, dealing with a whole different set of factors. But here's the problem.
I'm the oldest one here.
Here's the problem.
Yes, you are.
But I've survived.
Until you can outlaw everything that could possibly be a weapon, whether that's a baseball bat or a pressure cooker or pipe and all,
or a rock.
Until you outlaw. No, there's not. People that are going to do stupid stuff are going to do stupid stuff.
Here's what I would say. Kind of going back to what the original intent of this piece was.
Yes.
We're talking about giving licenses with no background check, right?
Yeah.
So
we don't.
I believe that we should live in a perfect world where we, first of all, not like Maryland, where you have to stand on one foot and pay somebody in order to get a concealed weapons permit because you can't, but also not just willy-nilly anybody in the world. Maybe we should have some sort of a litmus test that actually is enforced and is actually applied correctly, because I think we have plenty of gun laws on the books in this country. We just don't enforce them correctly.
Plus, we have more guns than any country on earth. That's probably the bigger thing.
And that's probably one of the reasons why we never get invaded. I mean, could you imagine?
I doubt it.
Oh, you doubt it? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that the fact that we have 300 million guns.
And how many gun crimes are committed by people who have no license and shouldn't own one in the first place? Like in Chicago.
95%, I guarantee.
Well, I think it's time for us to wrap this up a little bit. We can go on about this, very well.
Ad nauseum, I'm sure.
But anyway, next up,
guns.
Christmas memories from the panel.